this is something today that I'm really excited to talk about because we don't talk about it that often, which is inbound lead generation strategies. So before we jump into this sexy topic of inbound lead generation, which is what every single real estate agent thinks that this business is when they get into it, I want to preface that with what I'm about to say, which is our recommendation when we start working and coaching somebody and taking them from where they're at right now to where they want to go. We've tried it all. We've tried everything. So this is not just like an opinion. This is just based on real world results. It makes more sense to first master outbound to increase certainty and consistency and cash flow. So the whole premise of this conversation in today's podcast for people listening is the assumption is that you're mastering outbound, creating a consistent cash flow while you're building the inbound lead engine at the same time. So that's the caveat. I know you both get that, but I want to make sure that the audience gets that too, right? Because, well, what do you guys want to add to that? Because I think oftentimes people, Ben, you said it in the last podcast, people get into the business and they think the phone's just going to ring, like your sphere is just going to start calling you and magic just starts to happen. But any other caveats you guys want to add so we give people a good mindset before we get into this conversation?
The reason we are doing this side by side is not to keep you guys from doing the sexy, fun stuff. It's because that's going to take 12, 18 months to really get cranking. And if most realtors don't have the 2 to 5 years to build the business out the way that they want, they don't have the runway saved. So we do outbound to get the results now. It's the quickest way to get results. And then while we're getting those results, we build the long-term engine. So maybe one day you don't even have to do any outbound calls.
Beautiful. Yep, that's exactly right. Probably better articulated than I did. So Ben, thanks for picking me up when I'm down. So here's the thing. There are 4 strategies. All right. There's 4 pillars that every real estate agent should have in their business at some point. We're not saying you should have all 4 of these. Like you're a brand new real estate agent, you should have all 4. We should focus first on mastering outbound. This will get you to like 6 figures, maybe even a multi 6-figure income. Then you can scale through pillar number 2, which is inbound, which we're going to talk about today. And then you can add the 3rd pillar, which is your referral partners. And then the 4th pillar, which is your past client center of influence database marketing system. So we'll talk about all of them, but today we're just going to cover pillar 2, which is inbound. Now, there are 8 strategies that we're going to give you in today's audience. And so as we give you one at a time, we'll break it down, give you some ideas and some thoughts to implement in your business right away. And then we'll share our screen. And at the end of this video, you'll have all 8. You can grab a screenshot of it at the end of this video if you want, just so you can kind of work through them. Now, here's the other caveat. You don't need all 8. You're going to pick one. I'm giving you 8. We're giving you 8 today to look at all 8, the pros and cons of each. And we need you to pick one. You need one inbound lead generation strategy. Don't try to do all 8 of these and don't try to hedge against each other. So let's jump into the first one. And I think the one that is like most popular right now that a lot of people are talking about. And we work on this a lot with our coaching clients, which is YouTube. So YouTube right now, before realtors ruin it, is a great way to get inbound leads. So when we look at the whole idea of YouTube, the reason why it works so well, and you could pop out of that screen share too, Ben, if you want, we'll come back to this and we'll add the list, is because when I say this, what I'm about to say, like most agents are going to say, yeah, I get it. It's not a social media platform. It's a search engine. So like people don't get that. Like I know. And so like when we get into like our YouTube coaching and our YouTube workshops, I always try to explain this to people. And why does that matter? It's one word. It's the consumer, well, I guess it's 2 words, consumer intention. So unlike TikTok, unlike Instagram, unlike Facebook, social media is a a scrolling frenzy. You know, it's like sitting down at the slot machine. You're just pulling that wheel. You're just scrolling. There's no intention. You're just scrolling. Maybe you're taking a dump. Maybe you're on a plane. Maybe you're scrolling aimlessly. You know, like there's no intention there. You're just scrolling the wheel, just getting your little hits of dopamine. Now you look at Google and YouTube, which are search engines. The consumer sits their rear end in front of their phone or behind their computer, and they have intent around the time they're going to spend on their device, and they're going to go out and search something specifically. That's why it's so powerful. And so if you understand the strategy behind YouTube content marketing, you could put the exact message in front of your exact client avatar 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can have inbound leads coming into your world. You can have a sales machine that never calls in sick, never takes time off, and never goes on vacation. So that's the value of YouTube. What do you guys want to add to that?
One thing that comes to my mind, that when we did our the YouTube cohort a couple months back, a lot of their concerns were like, well, you know, I don't have that many subscribers, or how am I going to get subscribers? Or I've made some videos before and they don't get thousands and thousands of views. And the best part about it is, especially coming back to the intent, like you don't need lots of subscribers. You don't need thousands and thousands of views. Like if you just consistently put out the right content, the right people will find it. Even if you have 50 views, 100 views, that will get you business, right? And we're not trying to be Mr. Beast here.
No. What a great point. And so many people get caught up in the vanity metrics when they come to YouTube, and they're comparing themselves to these YouTubers. Now, here's the difference. We teach and coach agents to use YouTube as a business lead generation tool, not to monetize the content. Everybody gets this entire thing screwed up. And Colton just hit it. Like, for most agents, if they did 30, 40, 50, 60 deals a year, they would be wealthy. They'd probably be one of the most wealthy people in their community. If you're making $500,000 a year, you make more money than almost everybody in your little city, right? So with YouTube, you're right. If you're getting 10, 20, 30 views per video of the right people, and that's generating 2 or 3 high quality leads per day of your exact client avatar, well, that's why we're making the content. We're not making the content to get views from YouTube to monetize the views. And so a lot of agents get that mixed up.
The eighth wonder of the world is compound interest.
That's right.
And that's what YouTube is doing for you. Think about like the views you get today as contacts you made in a calling session, but then tomorrow, the video you make is like a robot of yourself doing it again. That video lives on forever.
Yeah.
So it's always prospecting for you. And over time, those videos down the road can still make a big impact. And those views are like getting a contact.
Yeah. And YouTube, if you do this right, you know, and like you follow the methodology that we teach, you can do exactly what you just said, Ben, which is to compound the avatar, because YouTube will go out there and find your perfect avatar for you and continue serving that video over and over and over again. Whereas direct outbound, you're just trading time for dollars. With inbound, you're making the content once and the content's generating leads for you forever, right?
Passive income, baby.
Yeah. Now, the caveat to all of these strategies, but especially with YouTube, is it seems like the path of least resistance for most agents. Like it seems sexy and like, oh, that sounds better than making outbound calls and dealing with rejection all day. But it's so funny. I said this at the beginning of one of our YouTube workshops. I'm like, you're going to deal with the same emotions making content as you do making outbound calls. Fear of the camera, fear of looking stupid, fear of not knowing what to say, fear of all of that stuff. Yeah. Consistency. You want to talk about a grind. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been making YouTube content, almost a video a day since 2017. Like, that's a way bigger grind than making 2 hours of calls a day. Let me tell you. And anybody who's on the platform, all of our agents, you know, that use this methodology will tell you the same thing. It's actually easier to be consistent making outbound calls than making, producing, writing, editing, publishing content on a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if anything, it's amplified. Like, it's one thing to have fear of getting cussed out on the phone or whatever, but now you're in front of potentially hundreds or thousands of people. Right. And your friends and family are going to see it. Like they don't see you get cussed out on the phone. So
great point.
Just know it's going to be the same thing. Like Brandon said, you can't hide from those emotions. You got to work through them.
It's the same thing. So you don't think that that's going to let you off the hook. All right. Number 2, the second inbound lead generation strategy, as Ben shares his screen. All right, real quick, and then we'll get right back to the content. If you're a real estate agent, you're looking to build a listing-based business, a business where you can generate a multiple 6-figure income, a business that doesn't require you to waste thousands of dollars on the new marketing gimmicks, then I'm going to invite you to click the link right underneath this video to learn about our Listing Agent Academy coaching program. This is a 6-month intense coaching system that more than 3,000 agents from every market all over the country have now gone through. And here's the reality. Here's the truth. I will shoot you straight. This program is not for everyone. This is for agents who value being around winners. They value being in a community of other real estate agents that actually show up, that actually put forth the work. And this is for agents that embrace high levels of accountability and visibility. To get the details, all you have to do is click the link beneath this video. You can schedule a coaching consultation and then you can decide for yourself. So with that being said, let's jump back into the content. Is to create a blog. So here's the thing with blogging. For everybody who says, well, I don't want to do what Colton just said, which is to put myself out there on camera, and you like to write, I love writing. Like as I get older and older, I enjoy writing more than I like making video content. And why people have dismissed blogging, I have no idea, because blogging is crushing right now. Crushing. Because it's so, how it gets indexed into Google is as powerful or more than video content on YouTube. So like once you understand a blogging strategy, like you can rank that blog on the first page of Google for like specific targeted search traffic that again gets it right in front of your ideal client avatar. And then once you understand the lead conversion strategy in blogging, you will have piles of leads coming in every day. You'll be like, this is like magic. I can't believe this is legal. That's a joke, right? But like the whole thing with blogging, I would actually venture to say that that's probably easier than creating a YouTube channel. It's just no agents understand how to do it and no one's talking about it. Your guys' thoughts on the blog?
Not everybody consumes content the same way. Some
Great
people
point.
prefer writing, some people prefer video. So you're hitting a completely different audience.
Yeah. Well, as far as the algorithms go, and we won't get too in crazy, like in depth with that, but like, because you're using so many words in the blog, it indexes really nicely in Google. And it's so easy to rank the content because it's so hyper local to your local market that once you understand the blogging system that we teach, an agent can sit their rear ends and have no downside emotion because they're not getting rejected over the phone. They're not putting their rear ends on camera and having to risk looking stupid. They're writing an article and on a framework that we teach, it's so potent in the Google algorithm that it gets in front of so many people. And then when you have our strategy to convert those viewers into an actual lead, it's game over. Cole, you want to add something?
Yeah. And you can be, when it comes to blogging, you can be more efficient too, because there's, all these tools now that you can use like Chat GPT. And
That's
so
right.
you can really streamline a lot of the heavy lifting. And then polish it up to sound like you. And then it builds a good foundation for YouTube in the future, because then, 6 months from now, a year from now, you can use your blog posts as, scripts or outlines for future videos to create. Instead of having to try to take a video and then write it out into a blog, you've got that foundation already to just talk over some of those high points on a YouTube video.
Oh my gosh, dude. Just really good point. 1,000%. And it's like, just start with the blog. If you here's the thing. if you're not in it for ego, like if you're not in it for the vanity, which I think most, like if you just want clients, like if that's the goal and you want clients and you want to build a successful business, you might find that starting off with creating your blog is gets you leads faster and it's easier for you to execute. And so just consider those things. All right, let's go to number 3. So the third tactic to generate inbound lead traffic, and I know we're talking about these things at a high level. If you guys have questions, put them in the comments and we can go back and answer some of those things and make some future videos unpacking some of these in better detail, like, well, how to come up with topics and what do I write about and what is the framework and how do you, like, all that stuff will come next. All right, number 3 is podcast. So the difference between, and I am referring to a video podcast, but this is so good. All right. So when I'm talking about podcasts for real estate agents generating leads, I'm talking about making content with another human being. So it's not direct to camera. That's the thing that people really suck at, like, oh my God, I'm looking at this camera right now. What do I say? I'm sweating, dripping. I can't do this. But when we're having a conversation with another human and there's cameras there, it's way easier. And it's the same thing as far as lead generation. So what I mean by podcasting is local real estate agent interviewing local business owners in their community. We produce it as a live show, which is always how we coach our agents to do it. So you can produce it in a live format where it's live on Facebook, live on Instagram, then you have the recording to upload to YouTube and everywhere else. But you're interviewing local business owners. And the lead generation conversion tactic in a podcast, in all of you who've listened to podcasts, you can promote your own services, right? So you start the podcast and in the middle of the podcast, hey, it's Brandon here. I'm a local real estate agent, been serving people looking to buy and sell in the community here for the last 20 years. If you're looking to buy or sell, click here, do this, call me, DM me, whatever your call to action is. And so you're creating the content to get the eyeballs. And then the conversion mechanism is your own promotion of your own service with inside the podcast. There's nothing easier than that, And so I love this strategy because it allows you to create video content. It allows you to build incredible authority in the marketplace. And it's highly, I'll call it, it's highly binge worthy because you're getting behind the scenes of local business owners on how they grew their businesses. And you're getting everyone's favorite places. So it's helping those local business owners too. It's like they've never done any marketing like this before. And so now we can create this video podcast that lives forever, driving people to their local business. It positions you as the expert and you're driving leads, which is what we're doing here. Thoughts?
Yeah, I was just going to say, not to jump ahead but I'm not sure if we're covering this specifically, but it allows you to kind of tap into their audience too, their socials. And so, talk about kind of the authority piece, like you're not only getting in front of your list and your people, but of course they're going to send it to all of their people and post it on their socials as well. So
100% send it out to their list. And so, it's like a good way to hack other people's audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what do most realtors say when they're getting into real estate? They get in because they're like, man, I can talk to anybody. So it's just such a natural, easy way to maybe progress into doing some more like YouTube and getting comfortable in front of the camera. All you're doing, and most people, not everybody, but realtors are good at just having conversations, talking to people. And then you're already super passionate about where you live and the places you go. So just talk about those things and your like natural charisma and all of that will come out and people will feel that as they listen to it.
Yeah. In a future episode, real quick, Colton, then you pop in, we can give you guys, if you guys are interested, put this in the comments below, just say interview, just type in interview framework. And then a future episode, we can break down the entire interview framework and walk you through step-by-step on how to be like an amazing, charismatic anchor to produce world-class interviews. What were we going to say?
Well, and
Colton?
I guess a little foreshadowing into that, a little caveat when it comes to these interviews, like this happens to us all the time. Like either before we start this podcast or after, like we're talking for 5 or 10 minutes and I'm like, man, I wish we recorded that. Like that was so good. So just be natural. Like I know it's hard to pretend the cameras aren't there, but like just start the cameras rolling and chit chat for a bit and just get into that feel of just like talking to somebody cool like that you're curious about, you know?
Yeah.
It's some of our best content. And one little quick caveat, going back to the YouTube thing, we're live in our mastermind group right now. And someone, Brandon Wyndham, just commented, he closed a deal off of a video with 20 views.
Exactly.
So again,
right.
exactly what we're talking about.
Yep. Great point. Awesome stuff, Brandon. All right. Next one, Ben. So number 4, and we're going to speed these up a bit. All right. So we only have a few minutes left. I want to make sure we get through all 8 to give the people what they came for. So number 4 is webinars. All right. So I have been screaming from the mountaintops to have realtors do this, and they just, they never do what Brandon asked them to do. They're going to go do something else. And so webinars, what are we talking about? So this is the thing. You could create a webinar one time and have that thing generate leads for you forever. So let me give you some ideas on the webinar. You can have, it's virtual, right? It's a recording. So you could have a first-time home buyer webinar. You could have a first-time home seller webinar. You could have a move up webinar. You could have a move down webinar. You could have a downsizing webinar. You could create a webinar around any topic as it relates to the most common questions people have about real estate. Make a video webinar breaking it down in great detail. How to get your offer accepted in a seller's market. How to get more for your home in a buyer's market. How to get multiple offers on your home. How to execute the perfect open house strategy, right? For sellers, all of these different things. You can create a webinar one time, and then you can post it everywhere. You can put it certainly out to your list as one of your weekly emails. We can throw it on all of our social channels. We could throw it on YouTube. We can run ads around it, right? So it's running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our perfect client avatars watching the webinar. And then through the webinar, the conversion mechanism is our call to action to get people into our funnel who land as a booked, scheduled consultation, phone consultation, right on our calendar, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And realtors are like, yeah, I want to do it. Why are we not doing it, right? So anyway, I get a little excited, but the webinar strategy for me is a no-brainer. It's like you could put the best webinar that I've ever done is to put our listing presentation on camera and let that thing present to all the people thinking about selling their house in their local market 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Screw going on 2 or 3 listing appointments a week, right? I'll just have my listing appointment go and do all the work for me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It makes that's been the most successful one for me. Go ahead, Colton.
Just real quick, I can already hear it, the overthinking of, well, hold on, you said funnel, like what funnel do we use? And how should I record this? What platform? Use a Zoom account, a free Google Hangouts account, download the video, either put it on your YouTube channel, put it on your blog, and then literally that's it. That's your webinar right there. Yeah. It doesn't have to be hard. And
again, for any strategy we're talking about, I know they're high level. Today, I just wanted to introduce people to these ideas to get their minds going. But any tactic you guys want us to go deep on, just put it in the comments, right? So if you want us to go deeper on the webinar strategy, just use that, throw that in the comments, webinar strategy, so I know how many people want to do that. All right, let's move on. Next, I think we're on number 5. Okay, cool. Seminars. So now this is the opposite, right? So webinar is an online lead generation thing. The seminar is the, look at this guy, SE.
Sorry.
Hey, I found a speller that's worse than me. So just put an S in front of, you had webinar, it's the same thing, just put an S.
Yeah.
And then M. Oh boy. We're on the struggle bus.
Now I'm locked in.
Seminar.
Keep talking. We'll be back.
Okay, seminar. That is awesome. That is great. That's the best part of the show.
It's one of those things where then you start thinking about it and it doesn't lock.
You overthink it. It's like, oh shoot, now I don't even know how to spell like anything. I know, I've been there too, my friend.
That's all right.
So.
We just use pictures in my house.
Welcome to my world. I can't spell a thing. So there's nobody worse than me, believe me. The funny story, we're gonna go over. You got a 10:30, Ben, don't you?
Yeah, I'm good. Keep rocking.
So check this out. I had a misspelling on my listing presentation for years and years and years and years and years until one of our coaching clients pointed it out to me. So it's all good, Ben. We love you.
We're all human, right?
That's right. Seminar. Okay. So what am I talking about here? So now we take the whole webinar strategy and then we make it just an offline strategy. So this is an in-person event that you could do at a local You could do this at a local restaurant. You could do these at hotels. You can do this with a potential referral partner. Like you could do a divorce seminar, right? People are going through a divorce. Like, how do we navigate? We're selling the marital home. What does that mean? What does that mean for title? How does this all going to work? How do we split that? What are my options? You could do an estate planning seminar with an estate planning attorney. You could do a probate seminar with a probate attorney, probate real estate. How does it all work? I just inherited this property, Ben, from Uncle John who passed away. I got no clue what I'm doing. And you can do these every month. Pack the room with 200-300 people. Heck, 50 people. Scratch that. 50 people. And the same thing like Cole was saying on YouTube, 50 of your ideal prospects in a room in front of you for 90 minutes where you have coffee and donuts, and you and a referral partner get up there, do the dog and pony show, position yourself as the expert, and then afterwards, people coming up to you say, oh my God, that was so good. We really need your guys' help. We really need your services. Can you meet with me and my husband? Can you meet with me and Uncle John? And it's a great, great way to generate inbound leads. All right. I'm going to just go a little bit faster. All right. The next one on the list is to do client events. All right. So client events. And when I say client event, they're positioned, Ben, as a client event, but they don't have to be a client. You see, that's the subliminal messaging. So you could do a bunch of different things. The easiest way to do this is to just schedule these around the holiday season, right? So you could do picture day with Santa, right? So we hire a Santa, that the kids come and we have Christmas cookies. We do all of that, right? You could do a chili cook-off for like the kickoff of football season. You could even do one of the best ones we've done was a virtual easy one. You could do kids bingo on Zoom. And now you're sending gifts and prizes to your clients and prospects' homes with the prizes that their kids won. You could do all sorts of events. Another event we love to do is our summer kickball tournament, kids versus parents kickball tournament. So we barbecue. So that's another phenomenal way. It's all branded as a client appreciation event. But you're inviting everybody that we want to do business with. Colton, you want to add something to that?
No, that's spot on.
Okay. All right. So we're running short. Let me just get the last two out. All right. Number 7. It's not geographic farming, ladies and gentlemen. It's demographic farming. Demographic farming. So yeah, that's perfect. So here's the thing. Every agent has heard of like geographic farming, but when we work with an agent, we believe a lot more in demographic farming. Well, what does that mean? That means to niche down to blow up your business. Niche down, the riches are in the niches. So we can get a list of people in our local city that are potentially downsizing. So a list of people who have homes that are free and clear, that are of retirement age, with the property with the master bedroom is on the second floor, not the first floor, and the property is 20% larger than the average home. We can get a list of all of those people, and we have records to show that they're empty nesters, so kids are all out of the house, and we can focus on marketing to that group of people because we know that's one of the largest demographics of people who sell their house. We could do the same thing for people who filed for divorce. We could do the same thing for people going through the probate process. We could do the same thing with people who just had a baby. Like we could do this with any demographic that we want. And we can focus on a group of people who we know the likelihood of them going to be listing their home is a much more likely than just the shotgun approach where you're marketing to the masses. You can't be all things to all people. All right, number 8 is grand opening events. So grand opening events. So there's a way that we teach our students to bring listings to the market that allows you to generate more clients. It's almost like a flywheel. Cole, I don't know if you want to speak to this, but we secure the listing, and the way we bring the listing to the market allows us to get more listings based on that positioning. Colton, you want to add something?
Just, I guess, combining that actually with the last thing you talked about is especially with the grand opening event, like you can do that in combination with a couple of the other strategies we've talked about, so you can make a video about it. You can write a blog about it. Like, hey, how to have a great opening event. And so like, you can get really strategic on how you do this. And we call it selling your sawdust, right? You're making sawdust. So let's use that extra material we have and leverage it since we already have it.
Absolutely amazing. So listen, why don't you share the screen one more time, Ben, so everyone can grab a screenshot of it that is watching or listening to this either live in the mastermind or a replay on YouTube. So grab a screenshot right now. And then in the comments below, put which one of these you're most interested in executing on. And then in our future podcast episodes, we'll go deeper on one of those strategies or those tactics. So appreciate you guys. And we'll see you guys in the next one.